Hey everyone, welcome back to round 2 of the Washington State Championship. I'm Kenny Wisdom and I'm here with
David Reichenberger.
And we're here to bring you a quite interesting match. This is Mega Venusaur EX Fairies. So this is a deck that, as far as I understand it, is a Tyler Ninomura creation on your left. That Tyler himself, Jack Pitcher, who is the 2012 Senior Division World Championship semifinalist, and Lane Tower, who's a local player who qualified for Worlds this past year in Vancouver and is also qualified for the VGC Worlds. Tyler, I'm sure you know Tyler by now if you're a fan of our streams. He's a very accomplished Northwest player. He gets a Worlds invite almost every year. 3-time regional champion, second at Nationals and Seniors in 05. Just a very accomplished player, but he came up with the deck. And as you can see, so we're going to see a mirror match here. These players are at 0-0-1, meaning they did draw their first round, but we decided to show you the match anyways because we felt it was a fun match to watch and something you probably won't get to see for the rest of the tournament. How do you feel about this deck, David? I know we don't know a lot about it. How do you feel about the concept?
It's definitely an interesting concept because Mega Venusaur EX has 230 HP, which is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't think we'd break 200 until we saw Whale Lord EX. But, so this concept is interesting because it can just tank and move energy around whenever it's damaged and heal it off with Max Potion. So it'll be interesting to see a mirror match of this. I'm very confident that it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so the interesting thing, if you want to follow along with this tournament, as you see, Tyler and Jack are both 0-1. Lane Tower, the third player playing the deck, is also 0-0-1. And that's because Tyler and Jack both played against Tool Drop. So Tool Drop is a Trubbish deck. Trubbish and Sigil attach a bunch of tools, do more damage times the amount of tools you have. But the interesting thing is that it's the only card in the format, at least the only one that's played regularly, that can one-hit KO Mega Venusaur EX. So they took it to draws, and then Jack and Lane played against that deck, both of them, and took it to draw. Tyler played against Verizzi and Entei, which I don't think Entei can actually one-hit it. I guess maybe with a band it could one-hit it, but it's just a fire type. Like, it's one of the only fire decks, and they all hit bad matchups and got a draw.
I'm pretty sure even with the band, Entei still does only 220,
right? Because it does 90, right? Yeah.
So a band and a laser, perhaps.
So we see turn 1, Tyler knocked out Jack Spritzy with his Cabalian EX, and Jack seemed to maybe recover a little bit. He does have 2 energy on his Mega Venusaur, or his Venusaur EX. He has not yet Mega Evolved. For those of you who don't know a whole lot about the Mega mechanic, it's new to the Pokemon world, and we haven't really seen it be used in competitive tournaments yet, but you have an EX, and it can Mega Evolve. It can evolve into the Mega Venusaur EX, which is just says M by its name and says Mega in the top left corner. And when you evolve it, you skip your turn. Mm-hmm. Your turn immediately ends.
Much like Tropical Beach.
Yeah, much like Tropical Beach. As soon as you evolve, your turn ends. They all have huge HP and then attacks that are good in a lot of ways. Mega Venusaur is not traditionally good because its attack cost is very high, but what it does is for 3 grass and a colorless, it does 120 and paralyzes and poison the active Pokemon. So although 4 for 120 isn't great, with automatic paralyzation has always been huge in the game. Excelgor poison and paralyze, and that deck won nationals. Auto paralyzation is huge, and I think especially in a deck like this that can abuse the heavy energy requirements with Max Potion. You can Fairy transfer all the Fairy energy off Max Potion, and then your guys set up to be probably 3-hit by something. Jack taking time to read Cabalian.
Now, do both of these decks use Thunder CX as the starter?
Yeah. I know for a fact that Tyler Like, I know that they came up with the deck together. I think it's Tyler's idea, so I assume that they're on the same exact list. So they're playing the same 60 cards. Well, why? What makes you say that?
Well, I just think it's a very interesting concept. Because when Fairy Transfer was first revealed, I thought it would be very interesting to use the Thundurus. But the interesting thing with Thundurus is that it can only attach to Plasma Pokemon on the bench.
Right. And I think that they both of these decks play Palkia EX. I think is a Plasma Pokemon. They could also play Genesect. I'm not really sure, honestly. The Fairy decks in general have a bit of variance to them, and especially a really spooky version like this could have any amount. But I think they both play Palkia EX to knock out Black Kyurem EXs.
Okay. I mean, these are essentially toolbox decks.
Yeah.
You could throw in any tech for any specific metagame, and it probably do well.
Yeah. And in general, the way that these decks work is that they play Prism and Rainbow, and all of those count as a fairy at all times. So you can fairy transit fairy transfer it. These two players in specific are also playing basic fairy energy, which is something we haven't really seen in other fairy decks because most of them are just relying on rainbows. But I think it's just because with the wide array of attackers they have, they need more energy, and there's no more special energy they can play.
Now, what about the use of Baby Xerneas with Geomancy?
That's a possibility. I don't believe it's in the deck. I think that you have a pretty low fairy energy count. But as I said, there could be anything in there. But I think mostly
it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. And there's the Mega Evolve and the Pass.
Well, it's not a pass, but
yeah, Mega Evolve and the turn automatically is forced to end. Wow. So we see Tyler does not have an Aromatisse in play quite yet, but Jack does. And looks like Tyler's going to Juniper this turn, but not before Tool Scrappering a Hard Charm. Is that what that card is?
That was.
It's a functional reprint of Eviolite. It makes all attacks to your Pokemon do 20 less damage.
Although with this deck it could not use Eviolite because technically Mega Venusaur is not a basic.
Right. And in general, it's kind of the same idea as Muscle Band versus Dark Claw, in that you might as well play the Hard Charm because if you need to attach it to an Aromatisse for some reason, even that 1% of the time, it's a strictly better card. And same with Muscle Band. A lot of some Darkrai decks will play Dark Claw because they only play Dark attackers. But Muscle Band can bluff an attacker, or Muscle Band can attach to a Keldeo, or even things you don't plan to attack with. And Tyler has to pass with no Aromatisse up.
Interesting.
Yeah, he Junipered and didn't hit it. I saw a bunch of energy in his hand. I know he attached the Rainbow to the Suicune on the bench, but
is that what that is?
That thing? That's a Suicune. Yeah, the Safeguard. Safeguard Suicune unaffected by attacks of EXs.
Do you think that'll come into play this game?
Probably. I assume these players are playing the same list, and if they are, that means that Jack plays a Cobalion EX, which can get through the Safeguard attack.
Oh, right, with
because it has Steel Bullet. But still, I think, again, even if Tyler just sets it up there and walls him for a bit, even doesn't attack with it, just builds up energy, I think that it could be pretty big. And there's the first energy on that Thundurus. Look, he's looking through his discard pile, but I don't think...
No?
Those aren't Plasma Pokemon, right?
No, they're not.
Okay, Tyler, yeah. Tyler's telling him he can't quite do that, but...
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Tyler letting him take it back.
What a good guy.
Gentleman and a scholar, Tyler Ninomura. Would you have let your opponent take that back if that were you?
What's your stance? The second round, and being that they're already tied, and it's so early in the game, I probably would have.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a very
fair.
respectable thing to do.
I'm also, as one of Tyler's good friends, I'm also 100% sure that he wouldn't have let anyone but Jack take it back. Not anyone but Jack, but he probably wouldn't have let not a friend take it back.
This is a States.
Yeah, this is the States. Tyler is trying to get his invite. There's a lot on the line. And you can't really fault a person for that, you know what I mean? And especially because with the way the rules work, once you enter your attack step, you have to, I mean, even actually in this situation, once he says Raiden Knuckle, he just has to do it, and it's Tyler's turn. Tyler doesn't even have to like respond or let him do anything. He can just put 30 on, draw a card, and go. But in a similar situation, you know, maybe, let's say that, what's up?
What is that stadium?
That's a fairy garden. It gives all Pokemon with fairy energy attached free retreat.
Okay, well, it looks like he just discarded the energy. Oh, against Cobalion. My mistake.
Yeah, Cobalion can knock off the special energies. But yeah, as I was saying, I think it's a point of contention, take-backs and all that among Pokemon players, but at the end of the day, I think that it's nice to take it back, or it's nice that your opponent will let you take it back, but it's nothing to be expected. And we see Jack kind of struggling to get anything going. Again, both David and I don't really know super how this matchup works, but I assume that Jack is fine once he just gets energy on the board, because he already has 3, and did he attach this turn? No, I'm not quite sure.
He attached the grass energy.
The grass. So he needs one more, because he's a fairy, yeah, so he needs one more rainbow energy, and once that happens, he can just let Tyler do whatever and just Crisis Vine him and paralyze him every single turn. I do assume that they play Virizion EX, but
just for the mirror.
Just for the mirror, but I'm not sure because their benches are so full. In my testing of the Fairies deck, just the basic one, I really like this type of decks. I played Kling Clang a lot. I played Hydreigon a lot back when those were legal, which is basically the same thing as Aromatisse. And I found it was hard because you needed an Aromatisse. You probably had Thundurus on the bench that you used before. You need a Darkrai, a Virizion, and then an attacker. And that's 5 slots. And it just was very, very hard because if you mess up or if you have to play 2 Aromatisse or if you play something, you know what I mean? You just have a hard time with bench space. This is why I don't know this for sure, but I think that they're probably foregoing Darkrai EX for heavy Fairy energy. Fairy Garden. That's what I found is I cut all my Darkrai's for Fairy Garden, and you still can have trouble. So especially when you have to have Mega Venusaur and your deck is much more tech based, I think it can be pretty hard to run Virizion and Darkrai. So we'll have to see what happens. But if they do end up running Virizion, it won't be that big of a deal because Crisis Vine will not do the special conditions to Pokemon that have grass energy attached, which, as a reminder, Prism and Rainbow do count as grass and fairy. But if not, it could be no, there's a Virizion EX. I see Tyler skimming through it. So that's going to heal him. That's not going to heal him. It's going to turn off his Paralyze and Poison automatically. And at this point, I think Jack could actually be in some trouble because when the Virizion hits play, the Cobalion loses its special conditions, and now the Cobalion can just start knocking off special energies off of that Thundurus, or off of that Mega Venusaur.
Do you think that Thundurus will come in with Thunderous Noise?
That's the 90 attack, discard a special energy.
If it has a Plasma attached.
Oh, yeah, so it's only if it has a Plasma, and they don't play Plasma, I do not believe, so.
Oh, that would have been a sweet tech.
Some minutia, little things like that. I do think Thundurus will probably come in pretty soon if Tyler is able to get out of this, because I think that Thundurus will need to kind of rebuild energy on the board for Jack. But again, even then, the issue, and there's that Virizion, but the issue then is that you can attach with Thundurus, put an energy on the bench. Tyler Righteous Edges your energy off. So you're still only at 1 energy per turn.
Yeah.
So I think, as far as I know, Tyler came up with a deck. If I'm miscrediting him, I apologize, but I believe he came up with a deck, and I think he's probably tested the mirror a lot, and he probably understands. Even if he hasn't tested it, he probably understands how it works.
Yeah, just playing the deck gives you huge insight.
Yeah, so I'm sure that he knows Cabalion's a good attacker, but we do see him switching into Suicune here. and we talked about Suicune a little bit before, it has a safeguard ability that makes it so that it's unaffected by the attacks of EX Pokemon, and Venusaur is an EX, Mega Venusaur, which means that the only Pokemon Jack has on his board currently that could attack into a Suicune is an Aromatisse. Looks like he's skyling maybe for an Ultra Ball. He's pulled an Ultra Ball to the front and trying to find a Pokemon that can attack into the Suicune.
Will we see the Cobalion?
Yeah, we can see Cobalion. We can also see...
There it is.
Yeah, I think that might be the only real... besides another Suicune, I think that might be the only real out that Jack has to a Suicune.
Well, this is arguably better than a Suicune in that it'll take out all of the energy, barring 2 on Tyler's field.
Yeah, because Tyler has 1 on that Mega Venusaur and 1 on that Virizion?
Yes.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
And Jack Fairy transfers all the energy. And I think we're going to see a Steel Bullet for 100 damage and the knockout. Is Suicune weak to metal?
What's that?
Is Suicune weak to metal?
I believe it's grass.
Okay. What were you saying, David?
I believe we're going to... Nope. I thought we were going to see a Max Potion come from Jack.
Oh, on the Mega Venusaur?
That or the Thundurus.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, I think... Oh, Tyler has 0 cards in hand, too. Tyler just due for his turn. I didn't realize that. So this kid... 0 cards in hand, no energy... Well,
taking out that energy was excellent.
But they do play... Yes, it definitely was. They do play some number of grass energy. So I wonder if we'll see a Emerald Slash here. Find 2 grass and attach it to something.
But no.
We also have no idea what that 3rd card in Tyler's hand is. Or that last card in Tyler's hand is, excuse me. Could be a 3rd energy. And nope, it just passes the turn back to Jack.
An Emerald Slash would have been interesting.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet Tyler has a plan. It's possible that he doesn't... it's possible that he knows he doesn't have the grass energy in his deck. It's possible that he doesn't want to get the special energy knocked off with Cobalion. There's lots of reasons why he wouldn't do it. It's definitely not the clear best choice. It was just one option that he had. And we do see catchers because we said Jack has on his hand. We also saw Tyler play a catcher earlier. And that's a Tails. What would you have liked to have seen Jack go for there had he hit the heads?
Either the Venusaur to knock off the energy, or the Cobalion just to take out that threat.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the Venusaur Tyler's main attacker is what you usually go for, but I think that the Cobalion's also an interesting option because that may be their only out to a Suicune. So if Jack ends up with a Suicune of his own, he could just win the game. And alternatively, the Aromatisse is also an option. 100 to an Aromatisse, knock it out, and then Tyler has 1 card in hand and can't really do much without a second copy of Aromatisse. I would
just be hesitant because the Spritzy is already on the bench.
Yeah, I think the issue with that is the Spritzy is already on the bench, and Tyler's already not doing much of anything anyways, and he already has the energy on his main attackers. Usually when knocking out the Aromatisse is a big deal is when they have 1 on a Thundurus, 1 on a Genesect, all spread around, so they're kind of useless, but...
Yeah, Jack is in a vulnerable situation in that respect.
Yes, definitely. And Tyler has a Mega Venusaur in his hand, and I thought I saw him draw a water Pokemon, so maybe a second copy of Suicune, but I'm not sure. Looks like Tyler's
second copy of Venusaur?
I believe it was either a Venusaur or a Venusaur EX. It was definitely a Venusaur, and I thought I saw him draw a Suicune.
Okay.
Or another water
Why do you think
Pokemon.
He did not evolve into the Mega?
I think it was just the normal Venusaur EX that he drew. In which case, I think he doesn't want to play it just because he doesn't want to just give Jack the information that he has it,
As an aside, we're seeing a lot of flashy cards, a lot of full arts and holo cards. What do you think of that?
I'm a man who loves full arts. Okay, so the weird thing about me is that I'm known for playing full arts. I had all the full arts, all golden catchers, all the golden trainers, and all the highest rarity cards. But in all actuality, the only reason, this is gonna sound strange, but the only reason that I play those cards is because it's impossible to play a non-hollow Pokemon deck.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess some decks would be non-hollow, but EXs are always hollow. Blastoises are always hollow. Like if all Pokemon cards came in non-hollow, like Magic does, for instance, I would definitely play all non-hollows because I like the feel of non-foils better. But I just can't stand them being like different, and some hollow, some not.
That's interesting.
How about you, David? What's your preference?
Well, I'm a simple man, so I tend to play lowest rarity cards.
Lowest? So
yeah.
Do you actively seek out the lowest? Like, do you play tin promos and stuff like that, or do you just play what you got?
Whenever a new set is released, I will get the lowest rarity of the cards, the chase cards, such as when Darkrai came out. I picked up a playset of Darkrai. But when the tins came out, I didn't necessarily switch over to the promos just because they're the lowest rarity.
Right, okay.
Same reason in my Eels deck, back when I played very competitively, I had 2 Zekrom, and despite saying that I played with the lowest rarity, people called me out on those Zekrom because they were black and white. But they're the lowest rarity of Zekrom at the time.
Right. So you don't go out of your way.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm personally a highest rarity guy. That's my stance. But I know that there's a lot of people who have other preference. Like they will try and seek out lowest rarity. Or like I know our own Mike Newman for a while would seek out the. Is that Tropical Beach? No, just Sigalith. Prism, Sigalith, Venusaur EX. He would seek out all different art. So, for instance, in his Blastoise deck at Worlds, he played 3 different arts. For the Blastoise, he played the Shiny, the Plasma Blast, and the Boundaries Crossed one.
That's weird.
Yeah, that
would bother me.
Yeah, I only play with the same arts. And Tyler, he's looking where to attach that Prism. As a reminder, Tyler can retreat due to Fairy Garden, so he's free to retreat that Virizion any time. It just kind of depends on when he wants to, and he's still 2 energy away from attacking with that Venusaur. Although, interestingly enough, the one time that I did break my rule of playing all the same art and all the highest rarity was at Nationals 2012. Myself, Tyler, Ross Cawthon, and a few other players played the same Excelgor Mew Prime list. Do you know that? You know that, yeah. And in that deck, you played 2 Chandelure from Noble Victories, and you had to play. Well, you didn't have to, but we played different Chandelures. You played 1 shiny, 1 highest rarity one, and then 1 normal one. Because if you did something like, let's say you search your deck turn 1 with a collector. You want to make sure. So you do that and you see the shiny one.
Yeah.
And then later you play a Sage's Training and you see the set one. You can safely discard the set one because you know there's a shiny one left in your deck.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So there are a few strange situations where you want to make sure that.
Doesn't Ross Cawthon do that a lot?
Play different cards?
Yes. He plays different versions of each card.
As far as I know, Ross just plays whatever he can get his hands on.
Okay.
Like David Cohen is similar in that 2011 World Champion David Cohen just doesn't care. Like he'll play mismatch, he'll play the same. It's just whatever he grabs out of the box first. I could be wrong on that, but I don't believe either player really has a big preference about. I know that I'm not wrong on David. I could be wrong on Ross.
Okay.
But I'm not quite sure.
I could very well be mistaken.
So we see a retreat to the Mega Venusaur on Tyler's side. That 1 card in his hand is the Sigalith. And this match has been going on a while, and they're not even done with game 1. They could tie and go to 0-0-2, which they can actually with 8 rounds. They can actually make top 8 after that. I believe you need 5 wins. 5 wins and something else. So I think 5 wins and 3 ties would get you in, and then anything higher than that, of course. I'll have to double check that math, but I believe that's what we will see. And Jack with a bunch of energy on the board, just considering what to do. He can move all the energy over to that Mega Venusaur EX that's active and Crisis Vine, but again, the poison. Actually, I guess it will take poison and will be paralyzed until Tyler moves an energy over to activate the Verdant Wind on Verzian. He can also. Let's see what else his options are. He can attack with the normal Venusaur EX. And then he can't really make use of the
Didn't he retreat?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did he retreat? Okay.
I believe so.
Okay, so he's stuck on that plan for now. And Jack making some considerations, looking through his discard a bit. Considering playing an Ultra Ball, I think at this point, it's mainly just for deck thinning. Okay, so he has the other Mega Venusaur as well. Both of the players getting a little bit of a laugh. Jack gonna set up both of his Mega Venusaurs, it looks like.
I'm a big fan of the minutia of thinning your deck.
Sorry?
The minutia of thinning your deck.
Definitely.
Like preparing for that late game end, just in case.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually when I first started playing. I remember I was playing Tyler at League. Tyler was one of my first really competitive friends in the game, and I played. I want to say it was a Pokemon collector, but I'm not sure. But I feel like that was too late. But I played some kind of search card, and I only got one Pokemon or one something when I could have gotten two. And it was Roseanne's, and he said like, "Oh, why one?" And I was like, "Oh, I only need the one." And I was like, "Why would I take two?" And he was like, "I don't know, deck thinning." And I mean, mind you, when I first started, it was 2009 or 10, but that really taught me, just even though it's a 0.01 chance or whatever of drawing the best card, it's still definitely something you want to do.
Yeah.
So shout out to Tyler for teaching me how to play this game correctly. And we do see the Mega Evolve. No, we see the attack. Wait, how did he Mega Evolve and attack, or was that not what happened?
That looks like a mistake.
Okay, I'm going to go grab a judge. I'll be right back. Do you want to?
So this long game might become a little bit longer. Alright, never mind. We are good.
Kenny back. That was just our mistake. He Mega Evolved, and then the next turn attacked. We were just a little bit distracted talking and didn't see Tyler's draw and pass.
Yeah, so that is unfortunate coming from Tyler.
Yeah, so the game state is how it should be, and Tyler has spent the last, 5 turns just drawing and passing. Maybe even more than that. He's just gotten nothing.
This is unfortunate to see.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see because, Kyle's in a bad position, but it's also unfortunate to see because this game has taken so long. Looking around the room, probably 25% of the games are finished playing, so we're definitely 20 minutes into this round probably, and we could either see a 1-0 victory for Jack or a tie of some form. So it's going to be unfortunate for Tyler. I think if I were Tyler, I would be playing a little bit faster, just to try and when I'm not winning, I play a little bit faster to finish game 1 and move on to game 2, or I would just concede.
Yeah,
but
which is curious that they've not tried that, or at least Tyler has not.
I think Well, I think it's a little bit early to concede, but I also think that one of Tyler's plans might be to try and draw with no games finished. Because, not that Tyler is stalling, but because he has such high HP Pokemon.
Is that a Palkia?
That's a Palkia EX.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Palkia EX is going to do 50 here.
And preserve his energy.
Yeah, and it can bounce to the bench and promote whatever Pokemon it wants. And so I think, again, because Jack has taken 2 prizes in this whole round, so I think it just a part of their strategy might be just be like Tyler's language. Well, I'm on a max potion. It's going to take you 2-3 attacks from each Pokemon to knock me out, and I'm drawing dead. And if I continue to draw dead, we'll just draw this round, and it's better than a 1-0 victory for you. Again, not accusing Tyler of stalling or anything shady, but just you have 230 HP Pokemon in your deck. It takes a while to knock them out, you know.
Also, it's a matter of playing the matches. The ties bring in a lot of different aspects to playing throughout a tournament.
Definitely. If there was no ties in this position, I think Tyler definitely would have conceded at this point. Just to try and move to game 2 and try to be able to actually win a game 2. And the other thing is that I'm also sure that Jack understands that what's happening. I'm sure that he gets like, okay, this could not saying Tyler is going for that plan. I don't know what's in his hand. I'm not quite sure, what his plan is. But if Tyler were, I know that Jack understand that's an option. You know what I mean? He understands like, okay, well, I'm gonna need to play fast and try and knock out these Pokemon where I can. We do see a max potion in Tyler's hand, and is that an Yveltal EX as well?
Couldn't see.
And I think now that Jack has promoted the Venusaur and started attacking, Tyler might be going in and trying to just knock off that energy now and try to make it so that Jack has to move his own energy around and kind of lose some of it. I think the problem, as we're seeing Jack do here, I think the problem is that Tyler has fewer energy, and Jack can pretty easily respond by just knocking out, not knocking out, sorry, by just blowing up Tyler's energy. And Jack, assuming that Tyler keeps drawing out as he's drawing, will just win this race. And we see a Colress. So after 8 turns?
Too long.
Far too long. Tyler Ninomura is going to draw a supporter. And the weird thing is, too, is his deck's pretty thin. Like, he might just have a lot. He might just be hurting on resources in general. Or every card in his deck is pure action besides the cards that he had. We're going to see a hand of 10 supporters and a bunch of energy. Yeah, so he just drew 4 supporters, I think, in this hand.
It's a lot of energy, too, right?
Yeah, it's like, I think I see 2 grass, maybe 3 energy of some sort, but... And Tyler...
So he could have Emerald Slashed.
Yeah, he could have Emerald Slash back then. I think the risk there was that he didn't want to get his energy knocked off. You might think that's strange because, why would he care when he's touching 2 more? But the energy he's attaching have to be grass. The rainbows and prisms only count as when they're in your deck or in your hand, they count as colorless. So you can't actually Emerald Slash for them. If they could, I think he 100% would have Emerald Slashed and just built up. But the grasses are not as important for Tyler as the rainbows and fairies are because he can't fairy transfer them. And Tyler doing a little bit of math. Not really sure what he's considering here. I think... Yeah, so there's a stray, 450. Jack draws. And again, I think Tyler now realizes that he probably can't... there's a Tails. He probably can't afford to attack with energy into that Cobalion EX. So I think his plan now might be to just start hatching energy and get something really big built up before going for it. And now I think Jack realizes that if he's not gonna have any advantage from attacking with Cobalion, he might as well just attack with Thundurus and build up his board as well. So the way Again, not sure of the deck list, not sure exactly what's what in these decks, but the way I see it as of now, it's going to be pretty hard for Tyler to win. I think that I don't think that it'll be necessarily easy for Jack to win, as I think that this match could very well end in a tie. But I think that Tyler is going to have a difficult time pulling the win off here, just because Jack has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy, 8 energy on board, and every attacker he could want, and Tyler is just so far behind.
He'll definitely struggle to mount his own position.
Definitely, and I mean, if at any time one of Jack's catchers had hit heads and he was able to knock out all the energy on Tyler's board,
yes,
I think that would have just sealed the game for Jack. Again, the game could still,
at the very least, taken out the Aromatisse. In which case, most likely, unless Tyler attached energy, of course, special energy, it could have paralyzed the Cobalion and completely shut down his side of the field.
Right. And I think that Tyler's probably out of Aromatisses as well, because we've seen ones in play and one Spritzy has gotten knocked out. Mm-hmm. So unless he plays a thicker line, he's probably out of it. Our Mike Newman is advanced to 2-0 here. Getting ready to only needs 3 more wins to seal his spot in the top 8. So hopefully Mike can rattle off a few more. And we see a Skylar get a dowsing machine from Tyler. Not really sure what else, what his plan is here. Don't quite remember all the cards that he's played.
So there's the Spritzy.
Yeah, there's the third Spritzy. So he must play a 3-3 line, which I think makes a lot of sense. But regardless, it's gone now. So.
Mm-hmm. What's the popularity of Super Rod these days?
Super Rod's not played all that much. It depends on how important basic energy is to your plan. For instance, Virizion EX decks tend to play it more often than others because those decks can struggle with energy, with getting grass energy, and they need grass energy in their deck to Emerald Slash with. Additionally, a lot of the kind of I call them the Flareon archetype decks. A lot of the stage 1, like Raichu, Dugtrio, etc. decks will play it just because your Pokemon are going to get knocked out and you want to get them back. But other than that, I don't think a lot of decks play it. I also would not expect Tyler's deck to play it because he relies so heavily on special energy. And there's a strafe into the Mega Venusaur. So Tyler offering up his Mega Venusaur to get knocked out. I think maybe baiting Jack into attacking with something big, and then Tyler has a surprise and can take a lot of his energy. Alternatively, Tyler could also have a Shaman EX, but I think even that only is 150 at Jack's position, so not quite sure what Tyler's playing here. Do you have any idea?
I'm not too sure. How much is on the Cobalion right now?
The Cobalion on Tyler's side, 50? 60. We'll get him to use our dice in the next round. I apologize for that. We do have dice that are easier to read. And there's a Cobalion getting ready to Steel Bullet and Knockout. And Tyler looks confident. He looks like he has some sort of plan. Nope. Well, okay. Tyler, his plan was a concession. So Tyler Ninomura is going to drop game 1 to Jack Pitcher. Both players on the Mega Venusaur mirror match. As always, On the Bubble is brought to you by Top Cut Central. Check out topcutcentral.com and buy one of the playmats that you see on your screen. Top Cut Central does a lot for the game, more for the game than any other store. So definitely check them out if you can. Buy a playmat. They also have some of the best bulk rates in the industry, as well as a shipping incentive. I'm not really sure what that amounts to, but I believe that they'll pay for some part of your shipping under certain terms. So definitely, if you like the streams, if you like what you're seeing, check that out at topcutcentral.com. Also, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/OTBPokemon and give us a like there. And you're watching this on YouTube right now, youtube.com/OnTheBubblePokemon, and please give us a sub. Subs are pretty important for our livelihood on YouTube, so please subscribe. TopCutCentral.com. Thank you to everyone that supports us. And me and David will be here all day for 6 more rounds and the top 8.
Woohoo.
We're also going to have some guest commentary by 2011 World Champion David Cohen. Once he gets here sometime, I think we're doing round 3 or 4, so look forward to that. And back to the match, I'm not really sure what can go differently. I think that was definitely a match where Tyler ran very, very, very bad. But even outside of that, I think that it's a very interesting mirror match. It's probably just going to come down to who can use their energy better. Who can draw more energy, not get their energy knocked out of the field with a Cavalion, etc., etc.
Once again, who sets up first?
Right. And the problem I see here, again, I hate to keep harping on this, but one of the biggest problems I see here is that this match could very well end in a 1-0 victory for Jack, because I don't know exactly how much time is left, but we're getting down there for sure. And Tyler starts off, attaches a Prism to his active Palkia EX, passes the turn. He drops a Fairy Garden as well, it looks like. Can't actually tell whose Fairy Garden that is because they're both playing same deck and same sleeves. But Jack then Ultra Balls away an additional copy of Fairy Garden and a Colress to find what I imagine will be either a Venusaur or a Spritzee. Those seem like the two most important cards to get at this point. Jack taking a few looks through his deck. Speaking of minutia, were you ever a player that would check their prizes at the beginning of the game and memorize what was in their prizes, or how did you feel about that whole thing?
Yes. When I played competitively, during playtesting and fun matches at League, I typically did not. But in bigger tournaments, absolutely. I always thought it was pertinent to know where everything was. Not to the extent that one would use town map. But I always thought that was important to know what was in your prizes, what you could draw from them.
Right.
Just like if you're taking prizes to draw into a supporter, basically.
Right. So did you memorize them all early? Like, so you definitely took the time. Because I know there's a few schools of thought about it. Sam Chen, New York State's own Sam Chen, once told me that he thinks you're playing the game entirely wrong unless you memorize all of your prizes on turn 1. But I also know a lot of other players will kind of get the general idea because they're just not trained well enough to do it fast enough. So they'll kind of look through and see, oh man, my Sigilyph is prized and a Juniper is prized too, but you don't know exactly which, you don't know all 6. But
yeah, and it definitely depends on how static your list is.
Right.
Mine remained fairly static, or at least I knew what I would play at most tournaments, and so I could easily figure out the numbers. And my numbers in the list tended to be very symmetrical.
Right. And so there's a Evil Ball from Tyler. And you can see both players, especially Tyler, playing much faster than they were last game. And yeah, the other interesting thing that you kind of brought up that I don't think enough players think about in regard to the prize checking that Jack was doing earlier is it also matters a lot when you're making considerations of, okay, I have 3 more prizes and I know that one of them is a Juniper and I have the ability to knock out an EX or a non-EX here, or some situation like that where you can put yourself in maybe a riskier position, but because you're more likely to draw the supporter or draw the card that you need, a G-Booster or some other similar very important card.
And assuming you do draw into the Juniper after taking 2 prizes, leaving you with 1 prize left, and they N you, you're still increasing the chances in your deck of having that
you
draw
put
support.
another out in your deck, yeah. Jonathan Perenata, who you saw on stream round 1, has won his second round, going to 1-1.
Actually, I am.
Lane Tower, you're playing this, right? Lane Tower.
Playing Aromatisse with enhanced hammers.
Lane Tower, I don't know if you heard that on the mic, but the third player playing this Mega Venusaur Fairy deck just lost to Kling Klang Aromatisse playing Enhanced Hammer. So a deck that in no worlds Lane could ever beat. There's not a universe that exists that would lose to.
Draw support if it's less turns. That helps.
And 2012 Senior World Champion Chase Maloney is 1-1. We see a Skyla from Jack. Looks like he's fetching Ultra Ball or Level Ball, whatever card will get him the Spritzy. I don't know exactly what their list plays. And Tyler in much more of a commanding position here. Definitely playing faster in game 1. Definitely actually hitting the cards he needs, playing draw supporters, and trying to set himself up to take a quick game 2. And in which case the match will probably still end in a tie, but who knows? Maybe Tyler can take a quick game 2, and they'll have time to complete the series.
Already,
at
I'm
least
seeing the legendary Tyler that I've heard so much about.
How so?
Oh, I just hear wonderful things about him from the Northwest.
Okay. What makes you? So you just mean that you're seeing him? You're seeing him for the first time?
Oh, I am. I've actually never met Tyler.
Oh wow. Okay. He was at that Worlds in Hawaii. He played
Kenny. I've met a lot of people.
Terrible with faces. And another caller is for Tyler. This time going to 8 cards. You got to believe that Tyler wants to hit his second copy of Catcher. I believe he's only played 1 to knock out that that Spritzy. And that is not in the books for today. We do see a Sigilyph, a Colress, a Grass Energy, Fairy Garden, Thunderous, Spritzy, Rainbow Energy, drawn for Tyler.
You can see the anxiousness in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely just trying to play quickly here. If any situation where Tyler does not complete the match will mean that he is going to lose, which he doesn't want. Even a draw would be better. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I believe that the time is nearing, and at this point, I think Tyler is probably just playing for the draw. He probably understands that he can't take 6 prizes and set up a new game and win a third game. So he's probably just playing to say, 1 point's good enough. I can still, I'm still live with another draw. Still have to. A lot has to go right, but it's better than having a loss.
Yeah, and you definitely see that in the pace of play. But I also mean that his mannerisms increase as well.
Right.
A lot of players tend to have various quirks with the way that they play.
What was Tyler doing in specific that you saw there?
A lot of fanning through his cards.
Yeah, definitely.
And shuffling in his hand, which is common among top-tier players.
Definitely. There's a Juniper. Getting another Spritzy, which you gotta believe Jack is into. And not sure what else is in his hand. I'm not sure really what his plan is here. Tyler just strafed last turns, and now Virizion EX is active. And Jack looks like he's still debating what he wants to do. I think he's going to send up a Spritzy and just sacrifice it, perhaps. And again, I know we've talked about this a lot, but with the time issue, Jack is not. Just the way that the rules are set up, Jack is not encouraged to play quickly.
No.
Jack is a great player. He's a stand-up guy. He's one of my good friends. I'm not accusing him of anything shady. But
he's playing normally.
Yeah, he's just playing normally. Like Tyler wants to play quickly, and Jack is. It's in Jack's favor to play normally. Not stall. Jack's not going to cheat, but it's not. does not want to play quickly. He does not want to rush himself. He wants A, because he doesn't want to lose the game, but B, because not any result but Jack losing this game means that he will win. So you know what I mean? Like there's just so much at stake here, and Jack just has no reason but to take his time and plan things out, which he's looking to do. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and attack in with that. Oh, and a Mega Evolve. He's going to attach and Mega Evolve. I think the rationale behind him I'm not really sure why he attached that energy and then Mega Evolve. Do you have any ideas?
No, I don't.
And that's time. And it's Tyler. Tyler Ninomura is turn 0. The way that time works is Tyler will take turn 0, then it will pass to Jack. He'll take turn 1. Tyler will take turn 2. Jack will turn 2, 3, and it'll be over. But because the match can literally not end in that time, Tyler has conceded. Jack Pitcher wins 1-0 over Tyler Ninomura in the Mega Venusaur Fairies Mirror match. And we will be right back for round 3.